All right, guys, welcome back to lesson 109. What we're going to be doing today is graphing system of linear inequalities. We've actually done inequalities before. I don't remember the lesson, but hopefully you guys remember how to do it. And today we're going to use our handy-dandy calculator, which is a lifesaver, also time saver. And so that's going to be one of the things that we're going to be doing. But yeah, hopefully by now you get the hang of this, and we are so close to finishing the book. And so we're going to keep on doing this. You're going to have another test this week, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. As you know, I record them beforehand because it's easier for me to record in bunches and not just one at a time. It's just a lot easier because, as I told you, I thought that this was going to be a lot easier, but it's a lot of work. And thank God my phone has that thing where they put the clips together and makes it a lot easier for me to be able to edit. But it takes a long time to just record. And then it does take the phone a long time to put them together. Well, not a long time, but it does take, according to the size of the video, it takes some time. And then just uploading videos to YouTube, it takes a good while too. So I'm just so glad that we're about to be done. Whether we continue this way or we go back to school, we don't know, but it's just going to be so much better, that the fact that we're almost done. And don't worry, I think I have something planned for when we're done, which is not mandatory, by the way. But yeah, it's more like Q&A and stuff like that. Like, you know, the YouTubers, the Q&A, maybe Raid Shadow Legends will see that and want me to be part of their sponsored videos. And so let's just get into the lesson. Okay, so for example one, I didn't go before whatever the example was because we should have already known what to do. So I just went with example one. So in example one, we have these two inequalities, and linear inequalities, by the way, they're lines. And the thing is that, remember, you're not supposed to care about the less than or the greater than sign, greater than, less than or equal to sign right now. You have to just worry about how these lines are going to look like. So to be able to do this, we have to find 2 points, because any two lines need at least 2 points to be able to be graphed. So the 2 points for the first one, and I'm going to label it 1, it's going to be 0, -3. I know that for sure, 0, -3. And then I'm going to just choose a number like 4 in here. Why 4? Because 1/4 of 4 is 1. And 1 minus 3 is -2. So my second number is going to be 4 for x and -2 for y. Hopefully you already know how to do this. It's not supposed to be really hard. So let's actually plot those points here. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and -2. 4, -2. And then we have 0, 3. 0 and 1, 2, 3. So my y-intercept is 0, 3. There you go. 2 points for the first linear inequality. Now, let's just do it one at a time. Okay? So I have my pocket ruler here that I just kept somewhere secure so that I don't lose it, because it's very hard to find. Now, is it going to be solid? It's not going to be solid. It's going to be dashed. The reason it's going to be dashed is because it's not an equal to. It doesn't have the equal sign here, right? And so because of that, it's going to be dashed. Now, is the shading going to go towards one side or the other? That's how we're supposed to find it with a point. And it has to be a random point. So I'm going to use 0, 0 because it's the easiest point we can have. So I'm going to put 0 for x and 0 for y. So it would be 0 is less than 1/4 of 0 minus 3 is greater than, I mean. Duh. And so 1/4 of 0 is 0, minus 3 is negative 3. Is 0 greater than negative 3? Yes. So my lines are going to go this way. My shading, not my lines. My shading is going to go that way, and that would be my linear inequality. Okay, but so what? So we already solved the first one. Now we have to solve the second one. And to solve the second one, we need to find 2 points. And again, we already have 1 point being 0, 4. Why 0, 4? Because if this is 0, this is going to be 4. That's how you find it. That's y-intercept. So we have a y-intercept of 0, 4. And then we're going to find a point. And we could actually use 1 or 2 or whatever. I'm going to use like negative 1. Negative 1, 3 times negative 1 is going to be negative 3 plus 4 is going to be 1. Negative 1, 1. So negative 1, 1. Right here. This point is negative 1, 1. Take out my pocket ruler. I know some of you forgot it was there. It's like magic. But better, because magic is not of the Lord. But the pocket ruler, you know, can be awesome. So this one is going to be a solid, right? This one's going to be a solid line. And now we have to find, is it going to be shaded to the left, or to the right? And so we're going to get a point here, and we're going to choose 0 again. 0, 0, right? 0, 0 is going to be to the right of it, because 0, 0, the origin is to the right. And so hopefully you see that. 0, 0, the origin is to the right of this line. And so it's going to be 0 is less than or equal to 4. Well, 0 is less than or equal to 4. And so over here, this is going to be the pattern of this line right here, of this inequality. So what's the point of this? Because you did those 2 things. Well, the point is to find this area in between these 2 linear inequalities. That would be the answer. The answer is going to be this part that is shaded in between both inequalities. And that's how you do it. I mean, it's not very hard, because you already should know how to graph a line. You should already know how to find where the shading is. And for those of you who have the TI-84 Plus Color Edition, you're in luck, because the calculator makes it so much easier for you. And so the rest of the lesson is going to be in the calculator that I'm going to go through. And so hopefully you guys understand this. Now, I'm going to go a little bit off topic here, because there's been something that has been troubling me a lot. I have 14 students in Algebra 1. The views for the video are less than 6 or 7 for videos, usually, nowadays. So what's going to happen is this. I'm actually going to start giving bonus points for those of you who actually pay attention. And it's not going to be all of them. It's going to be like the first 5 people or so. And this is what's going to happen. I post the videos at 9. The Google Classroom notification goes up at 9:05. I'm going to say that those of you who answer a very stupid question as a comment, okay? Not first or second or whatever it is that you want, but somebody that answers a really dumb question in the comments on, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. The first 5 people that do the comments in the YouTube video itself, answering this question. And this is the question for the YouTube comments, okay? For the YouTube comments, I just want to know what your favorite color is. Yeah, that's simple. What your favorite color is. You will get bonus points, guaranteed. Now, if you actually did watch the video and you were like the 6th or 7th person, for the first 3 people, and it cannot be the same people that commented in the YouTube video, it has to be other people, okay? The next 3 people that by 10:30 comment something else on where the video was posted in Google Classroom will get less bonus points, but at least some, okay? So that's pretty good, because I'm giving bonus points to the 8 people or so that have been faithfully watching the videos. Now, if you were smart, you would not tell the other people, because they could come in and take the other bonus points that I'm going to be giving out. Not every day, but every once in a while. And you have to watch the videos because I'm going to put them right smack in the middle of it. And you won't know. And so, for those of you who put your favorite color in the YouTube video comments section, perfect. Good for you. You got bonus points. For those of you who came a little bit late but still want some bonus points, I want you to put your favorite animal, okay, in the Google Classroom comment. It's just first 3 people. I don't care if you are 4th. You lose, okay? This is the reason that I have to do it, because you guys are not watching these videos, and I'm spending a lot of time doing the videos, and I know that it's not everybody, so it would be unfair to say that everybody's not doing it. So instead of punishing those who are not watching them, I'm going to reward those who are watching them on time when it's supposed to. So this video, I believe, is going to come out on a Wednesday. You better be ready for that, because I know, and there's timestamps, all right? And you cannot, if you erase your own comment, well, that's too bad for you. But if not, I will know what happened, okay? So understand that, and let's move on to the rest of the lesson now. Okay, so still in example 1, but I'm going to do the second part in the calculator. So I have my calculator right here. Sorry, my basement is super dry. And then I have to graph it in the y equals, right? But it's not y equals. We need to get it to y equals. So for those of you who don't remember, we go to apps. See, real life stuff here. Apps. And then we're going to go to 7, which is inequalities, and then press any key, enter, and that's it. You already have it. So in there, you're going to press not enter, but go back 1, right? So you go to the y equals, right? It's the same thing. So then you press the back arrow key, and then it highlights the whole first equation. And so you press enter in there, and now you're going to see that the equals, you can change it. And because in the first example is y less than 4, we're going to have the less than. And then now that I have the less than, I put OK. And then I'm going to put obviously a 4, and bam, I have my first inequality. My second inequality, you have to solve for y. Okay, hopefully you guys understand it. Look, I haven't looked at the answers, but I'm going to, I haven't looked at what the answer says right there. I'm covering it with my left hand. But look, it's this one, right? 2y plus 2 less than negative 6x. All you have to do is move the 2 to the other side. So subtract by 2. It's going to be 2y greater than negative 6x minus 2, and then divide the whole thing by 2, and it would be y less than negative 3x minus 1. You see? I did it in my head. I think it's pretty easy. You guys should be able to do it. So now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go into our calculator, right? We're going to put the back arrow key, put the inequality to make it less than. No, it's greater than, sorry. So greater than. Okay. Then you put negative 3x minus 1. You press enter. Boom. Look at that. I have these two already. Please make sure that there's nothing in the plots here, okay, that they're not highlighted. Then you're going to go to zoom, press zoom, literally press zoom, and then zoom 6, which is the standard. So that's my first inequality. You see, it's going down, and then my second inequality is there, and right there, I have what the inequality is. Now, the problem is that your calculator tells you really well what you need to do. Well, it's really easy what you have to do if you have to do it for a test or a homework. You just go to the table. Second, you press second, and then you press graph, and you go to the tables. And look at that. They give you points. For my first line is -1, 4. And for my second one is -1, 2. For my second line, I have 0, 4, and have 0, -1. And then I have 1, 4, and 1, -4 for my... And so it's so easy. It's so easy to do it in the calculator. And that's why I'm telling you that you are allowed to use a calculator. It's a really good tool, but you still have to show me what the lines look like accurately. So how to do that? With the table. Let's move on to example number 2. Okay, for example number 2, look, we have this line, y is less than 3/4 of x plus 2. And then in the second law, inequality, linear inequality, is y is greater than or equal to -1/5 x plus 4. So I actually put that in my calculator. Look at that. All right. You should know how to do it by now. Again, I'm just going to put graph zoom 6, or you could just put graph, right? So that's my first line. Boom, my first line. And then this is my second line. Note that the first line is dashed. You can see here that it's dashed because it's less than, okay? It's less than. So in here, it is dashed. And then the second one is, you see, solid. Why? Because it has an equal to. And so don't forget that part. And then you find this, but then the answer really is that section right here, that little triangle that meets both times. And again, if you want to know what the points are to be able to look at the, to graph the line in your test or something like that, just put second graph. You go to the table, and the table gives you points. I would obviously try to find the easiest points like 0, 2 and 0, 4. That's a pretty easy one. And then look for another one, like for example here, 4, 5 for the first line and 5, 3 for the second line. And that would be it. I mean, it's really easy. So let's move on to example number 3. Example 3, we are dealing with parallel linear inequalities. Why are they parallel? Because they have the same slope. The slope is the same, -2/3, -2/3, and so they would be parallel. Now, the question is, are they going to actually have an answer? Like the answer, remember, is the overlapping of the linear inequalities, where the shading is, okay? So you have to look at the shading. And so you have to understand how to do it, obviously, in your calculator. I already put it here, -2/3 x minus 2 and -2/3 x plus 3. One of them is going to be less than. So the first one is y is less than or equal to -2/3 x minus 2. The second one is y greater than or equal to -2/3 x plus 3. Now we're going to graph. Okay, so this is the first one, the last one, less than, and this is the second one, the greater than. Is there an answer? Well, technically there's no answer because they don't have, you see here, they don't have any overlapping. There's a white part and there's no overlapping, so it has no answer. So let's move on to example number 2, and we're going to use pretty much the same thing. It's very close to it. Okay, so the first inequality was -2/3 x minus 2, but it was less than. All right, y is less than, and the second one is y is greater than. So if we change that in our graph like this, y is greater than -2/3 x minus 2, and the other one is still greater than, look at what's going to happen. We're going to graph it. Oh, never mind. Sorry. The reason I have to stop that for a second is because I made a mistake. The second one also switched from greater than or equal to less than or equal to. So I have to do that first. There we go. So that would be the first line. That would be the second line. You see that? Now there's an overlapping area. And that would be technically the answer. The answer would be that little section right there that looks like a grit paper. And that's that's literally the answer. And in the third part, sample number 3, as you can see here, is going to have y is greater than negative 2/3 x minus 2, and y is greater than or equal to negative 2/3 x plus 3. So we write that both are going to be greater than. That's what I was doing in the previous one before I said that it wasn't that. Okay, there you go, greater than and greater than, and then I'm just going to graph. And look what happens. The answer then would be the upper shaded region. Look at what your book says. Your book says that it would be the upper shaded region. So what I'm telling you is, if you know how to do this in a calculator, this lesson is pretty easy. And I think that's it for this lesson. Let me just check real quick in front of you guys. Yeah, that's it. Don't